now the first to make its way into the procession is the iconic Jeep.
Yeah, so the Ford GPW / Willys, as it was known, officially known as the U.S. truck quarter-ton 4x4, saw service across all fronts as late as even the Vietnam War. Used for things as simple as scouting to transporting trailers of water, ammunition, gasoline, things like that. Served really as a great workhorse and transport vehicle for higher ups.
Yep, that sounds good. So they're pulling that up.
Das ist ja unglaublich. The fog in Polen is thick. I'm a German tank commander of a Panzerkampfwagen 5 Panther with the 19th Panther Division. Our situation here outside Warsaw is critical. We must cover for Russian assault on Army Group Center.
I'm a Russian tank commander of a T-34 with Soviet Cert tank. We are inching through fog that blankets valley between the Narev and Vistula rivers. Our goal now is to drive Germans all the way back to Berlin.
Our crew has not slept, but we have discipline. We mean to spot the enemy first and strike quickly.
The men are enthusiastic, but most are farmers with little experience driving a tank. Some are just boys. But we move as one, relentless, determined. Our Red Army has driven a hole in the German lines, and we now control the Eastern Front.
The Americans, British, and Russians have us in a vice. We must make our stand here in Poland, or be driven back into the fatherland.
Our artillery, our armor, our infantry are like a great and terrible lance, piercing the heart of the German devils.
Their numbers are greater, but we face them with better equipment. Our Panther is equipped with excellent optics, high-quality periscopes for the driver, hull gunner, and loader. This gives us a great advantage in this fog.
Charge visibility is crap in our T-34s, and the fog it only makes it worse. Our driver's viewport allows him to see no better than a newborn kid. As commander, I see little through the clouded vision ports on the cupola. I must rely on a binocular periscope. My crewmen have only a single periscope or a narrow vision slit to see up. When our tank's hatches are closed, my crew is essentially deaf and blind.
Our Panther is a formidable fighting machine. Its broad tracks distribute the tank's weight evenly, and our good suspension and powerful engine help it overcome obstacles.
The German Panther is over-engineered. Two-thirds of them have mechanical breakdowns that require special repairs. And for every one Panther the German factories produce, our Russian factories produce 5 mechanically reliable T-34.
Our Panther has 18mm of hull front armor sloped at 35 degrees. That is superior to any T-34.
Our T-34 cannot maneuver like the German Panther. But water, mud, snow, there is no terrain we can't traverse. We must get into position to get side hull shot.
Wait now. Was ist los? Up ahead. Ja, tatsächlich. Russian tanks. Wilhelm, do you see this?
Jawohl, Herr Kommandant. T-34s.
How many?
I count 4, Herr Kommandant.
Sehr gut. They can see us through this fog. Target the closest.
Jawohl, Herr Kommandant.
Main gun, armor-piercing round. Los, los.
The fog is lifting at last. Tavarish, Commander. Tavarish, Lieutenant. German ahead. Panther, dead ahead. Driver, turn. Loader, prepare.
Steady. We have the beast caged. Don't rush the shot.
Crank the turret. Crank faster. Don't let the crowd pigs fire on us from the front. Don't let them.
Wait for it.
This lethal weapon of the Third Reich was never defeated in battle. Speculation has it that in the winter of 1945, while escaping from sheer numbers of Allied forces, it attempted to cross Poland's narrow Charnanita River, broke through thin ice, and became stuck in shallow water. In all probability, its crew then scuttled this Panther so that it would not be taken by the Red Army. Nearly 50 years later, this Panther Aus A was recovered from the Charnanita River. Through tens of thousands of man-hours, it was restored by craftsmen of the Military Vehicle Technology Foundation in Portola Valley, California, under the watchful eye of renowned collector Jacques Littlefield. Upon Jacques' passing, the Littlefield family moved this tank and many other historically significant military vehicles to the American Heritage Museum. The fully restored Panzer V stands before you today.
This Higgins boat here was actually at Normandy Beach and it landed troops, fully restored. You think it just came off the showroom floor. This vehicle here, for you war aficionados, was used at the end of the film, The Dirty Dozen. Lee Marvin and Donald Sutherland, all the rest of them drove away in this. This is the only one in North America and the last functional one in the world. So, it looks like it just rolled off the showroom floor. P40.
Yeah, that's not good.
These are all older race cars, old Indy and stuff. 1972.
1987.
Yeah.
The one is
Soft rubber to grip the balloon.
yeah, no tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. No treads, I mean. Heavily.
That's how they pull the brakes. Both engines. No, that was nice. Yeah, it wasn't real good.
Studebaker. Describes all midget cars, left to right.
Different tires in the front and in the back. Yeah, huh? Yeah, in the back.
There's all of us.
Biting men.
used across Western Europe in pretty great numbers by armored cavalry units for scouting and reconnaissance. Armed with a 37mm cannon, just enough to cause any trouble. 50 caliber Browning machine gun on the roof. 6 wheels, all-wheel drive.
Here we have the M3 half-track.
The M3 was a fairly versatile platform, seeing use as both an armored personnel carrier like you see here today, being able to mount the Hudson M45 quad mount with 4 50 caliber Browning machine guns, mortar mount, multiple machine gun mount, 37mm on the same mount.
And then the M3 Stuart light tank, followed by another M3 Stuart light tank. And tell us the difference between the two Stuarts that we see on the field there. So in the lead we have the M5A1, which is the later variant, and the tail end we have the F5. Main difference in the earlier church. You'll see pistol ports around the direct vision ports coming out. That was more of an early war design. We didn't play around with too much towards the end of the war. The F5 also did some of the advances off the F3, which had a much different tone scheme, as well as 2 30-pound machine guns built into the hull. So the M5 changed things up a bit and moved to be a bit more effective. Of course, one of my favorite tanks coming just behind the two light tanks and Stuarts is the M36 Jackson. This is a tank destroyer. One of the few tanks in World War II that could actually destroy heavy German armor. Prior to that, there were very few tanks that had that large, it's like a 90mm cannon that could penetrate German armor, such as the Panther and Tiger tanks. And then, of course, the most iconic and most mass-produced tank in American history is the M4 Sherman. So you'll see there the tank battling bit. Now that's an M4 Sherman. Incredible service history for this. The M4 Shermans were in service from 1942 to 1957. These tanks weighed about 66 to 84,000 pounds. A unit cost of an M4 Sherman during World War II, so each Sherman cost anywhere between $44,000 to $64,000. The incredible thing about Shermans is the number of them that were made. Let's see if I can find the actual production numbers. So imagine over the course of 4 years in World War II, actually a little bit beyond World War II, over 49,000 M4 Shermans were produced.
Following up in the rear, we have the M24 Chaffee, the replacement for the M5 Stuart that you see earlier in the parade. Multiple advancements made with the Chaffee off of the Stuart. You'll notice different running gear. The Stuart uses a vertical volume spring suspension with 2 independent bogies, whereas the Chaffee uses torque suspension with 2 bars of suspension going through the bottom of the slot. Other advancements made off the Stuart, the Chaffee is kind of a 4-man crew, like on the Stuart, a 5-man crew. The bow gunner, which is very important when it comes to taking out tracks on the vehicle, doing overall maintenance. Having that 5th man really makes a difference. Also, something that's 75mm cannon as well as Chaffee.
Right. Now the Chaffee was made manufactured by Cadillac. The Chaffee is considered a light tank, so this comes in at about 40,000 pounds. Again, this also takes a crew of 5. Again, the main armament on a M24 Chaffee is that 75mm cannon. The maximum speed of a Chaffee is somewhere around 35 miles an hour. An M4 Sherman, you could probably get up to maybe 25, 30 miles an hour if you dared. If you dared to take it that quick. Usually they take them pretty slow. the operational range pretty much of all the tanks that you see here is somewhere around 100 miles. That's why it was so important to have those long supply chains following these tanks all the way through Europe. Now, Andrew, this tank that you see pulling out here, which one is this? Pulling out now is a 53 replica based off of the G32 on the first South variant. Incredible replica here. Resembles the original vehicle. The original vehicle houses a 75mm tank. And was mostly a support role early in the war, and as things got later, they realized that it acted very well as a tank destroyer. So it would be positioned in tree lines and camouflaged and used in ambush roles on tank convoys. It is one of the most mass-produced German vehicles of all time, far outnumbering things like Tigers and Panthers. I believe the Sturm had numbers somewhere in the 40,000 to 50,000 range produced. It's amazing. The one thing I like to point out regarding the M36 Jackson, so that's the tank destroyer that you see the people out the top of the turret there. This is an incredible tank. This has the longest kill shot in World War II history. So imagine that this type of tank was able to destroy an enemy German tank by over 2.5 miles. Astounding distance to be able to hit something. Of course, there was a lot of luck involved in that strike. So basically, the story goes that they were able to hit that up the shot and eventually hit the tank from over 2 miles away. Incredible feat. Let's get a round of applause for volunteers in the Jackson. I see about 4 of them in there. Can't really pull off anything today without our volunteers, but back to our foundation. The German tank, of course, as it was being produced over the course of the war, went through several different variants, different types of engines, where they started with a radial engine and then moved to a more Ford GAA V8 engine. It took all kinds of armament from a 75mm gun, 76mm gun, and even a 105mm howitzer. Hopefully, if our veteran Alpha Consigli is 100 years old, if he can make it today, he was riding in a Sherman tank that had a 105 howitzer, and it landed on the beaches in Normandy and took this tank all the way through Europe. There he is bringing in the M4 Sherman. Notice when the Sherman's pulling in now the early war gun mantlet, how it doesn't span the whole front of the gun mount. That was the earlier design, and the later design you've seen on Liberty are the Sherman off on the left side. You'll see the gun mantlet covering the entirety of the front. M8 Greyhound coming in. Also the Jeep right in front here. Now, Andrew, what's the typical role of the Greyhound in World War II?
So the Greyhound would be used by armored cavalry units, generally going into any occupied territory, finding things like machine gun nests, basically poking at the hornet's nest.
Oh! We threw a track. We threw a track. Wow!
Throwing a track.
All right, you guys.
Oh yeah.
This, I tell you, you don't have to pay anything extra for this. So now you get to see the drill in action here, right? So, right, exactly right. Yeah. So now you get to see how you put a track back on a tank. You can imagine.
Well, what happened
thing just rolled back, right?